Alright guys, I know a whole bunch of people asked for this. I had some more people ask on the S90V video that I did. Aren't going to do copper wire this time. That thin little copper that I have, it doesn't really present a challenge to anything. Played with a bunch of different steels with it. But what I do have, I haven't figured out how to work it in yet, but this is power line cutoff pieces. I have a few of these. I figure out what to do with it. It is hard plastic surrounded aluminum with copper strands, and the center is definitely pretty tough. You got to figure out how to do toughness with this, or what I'm going to do with it, and we'll do a bunch of different steels together. But for today, just doing exactly how I did with the S90V, like I said, with the exception of the tiny copper wire. So this is a fresh edge on here. This is the 5th edge that I put on this from brand new. And I also brought this Rex 45 out. I know this is mid 65 or so. I think it's like 65.7. And while this one has not been tested, all of these I've seen with the same code are all in the 67 plus range. So it'll be interesting to see how they stack up on the aluminum and brass. But we're already 2 minutes in. Let's just go ahead and get into this, just like last time. Our same chunk of 2x4 here. And before I do that, well, I guess it doesn't matter. Here we go. So no problem on the pine. And we'll go ahead and, I believe I did about 8 impact hits last time. Go ahead and do that again, and then we'll move on to the aluminum, the brass, and see how that fares. I've used Rex 45 quite a bit on wood. I think it's a pretty good wood steel. as far as it goes, I've had no issues with it. So, no damage. Everything looks good. No chips, no rolls, nothing like that. Pretty much what I've experienced in the past with Rex 45 on any kind of wood stuff that I did it on. So the edge is still good. Go ahead and hit the aluminum and then hit the brass. And that's where the Para 3 comes in, that I know is on the softer side for Rex 45. And we'll see if does it do the same, does it do different. So move up the blade a little bit. You guys can see right about where the flat goes away. Oh, sorry. Right about where the flat goes away is where we're starting. And there we go. We took some pretty good chunks out of that aluminum. Alright, it did bring a little light. Now I can't tell. That is aluminum buildup on there, or if that edge took a little bit of damage. Okay, so I will try to show it to you guys. Don't know if this is going to come through on camera. Right here in front of my thumb, there is one tiny little spot that I can catch my fingernail on. That is not leftover aluminum. The rest of it did come off. However, I'm not sure if I can feel it catching the paper. So that may actually be more aluminum stuck on there. I know it's really hard to see. Extremely hard to catch it on this camera. So we're going to move a little further up and hit that brass. Alright, so we do maybe I'll be able to catch it. I don't know. There is a little bit of rolling right above my fingernail right here. Don't know if it's going to come through on camera or not. Does catch my fingernail. Does actually kind of look like there might be a little bit of a chip right there as well. So what I did bring is 16 micron on basswood. I'm going to go ahead and hit it and see if I can smooth that out at all. Alright, so it did take care of the little bit that was rolled, but there are two little chips in there. They are really small. I can see them. I don't know if they're going to come through on the video. Maybe the black is a better. They're right about in the center of the fingertip on the glove right there on the apex. Two little chips. So now we're going to move back to the back here and do some impact on the aluminum, kind of like I did with the S90V, and see what that looks like. Yeah, just those two little chips on it right there. So now we're going to take this one that I know is softer and do the same thing on the aluminum and the brass and check out how it holds up. Go ahead and do back here on the aluminum, then we'll go further up on the brass. So just like the other Rex 45, all we really got is a little bit of aluminum residue on the apex. Go ahead and hit it on the brass and see what that does. Alright, this one just has a little bit of flat spotting right there from the brass. And I will look at this one better. I will magnify the edge when I get inside, but from what I can tell right now, it definitely has two little chips in it. And we'll go ahead and see if this little bit softer Rex strops back. So this one definitely still has a little bit of flats. There you go. You can see it right there, that light reflecting up toward the tip from the brass. That isn't going to come out, but it did fix what appeared to be a little bit of rolling. The aluminum really didn't do anything to the apex on either one of these. There we go. I know where they are, so I can see them, but there is a little bit of chipping up there. There we go. And you can see where the apex is flattened from the brass. So Rex 45, like I said, does great against wood. I've taken this one and the Para 3 to many different kinds of wood. Hickory, oak, pine, I forget what that other wood is. All with no issues. No problems with edge stability on wood. No problems with impact on wood. The aluminum, outside of leaving a little bit of residue on there, really no problems with the aluminum. The brass, though, it did put little chips in this one. And I do wonder too, I may revisit this later on. This Rex 45 here is, you can't see, it's been well used. This has had dozens of edges put on it for use and testing. This had some pretty bad belt chatter on the factory edge, especially up toward the tip. So I'm wondering if once I get some more edges on here, maybe the steel's a little weak up here still. Either way, I'm definitely going to find out. I do have to do edge retention on this, so I will have to put at least 4 more edges on it, and maybe around 10-12 edges I'll come back to the brass and see what happens, see if it holds up as good as the Para 3 did. So that's how Rex 45 does. I will at some point probably find out the hardness on this one. Maybe it's got issues. I don't know. That's how it does. As far as wood goes, I do like Rex 45. As far as EDC goes, the cardboard and plastics I do, I'm going to say I don't really take advantage of the edge stability on Rex 45 because it doesn't seem to perform really any different for me than M4, K390. Don't notice a whole lot of difference in it in my normal EDC use. So I will come back to this one, but this is how it did. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, drop it down below. That's all I have. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.